All right, and we are back with another legendary Fable 2 video. And if you guys haven't watched the previous video, I recommend you go back and watch it so you can understand why we ended up here. If you don't, that's completely fine. We'll just continue from here. I was gonna get the last two bottles, but Rose said she's ready to go to bed already, so we're gonna go ahead and go to sleep. And when we wake up, we'll see what the game is going to have in store for us. This video is coming. What's in here? You find strange letters with arcane writing. Forgot what I was saying. I'm thinking of arcane letters now. But we are still recovering from the previous video. Tragedy has striked, and now we're in the dream world after getting shot in the face by Lucian. Gave us some of the worst news we could ever receive, and now we're dying at Hero Hill, but are in this world here.
It's nothing, little sparrow. Go back to sleep.
Music box. Yeah, we're gonna go for it.
Oh, come on. Get back to bed. There's nothing fun to do here now.
Well, here's the funny thing. You can actually go back to sleep and then the day restarts and you can finish doing your little side quests.
You're being really annoying.
But this is gonna be the
Where are you going?
but this is always what's gonna happen at the night when you go to sleep. So even if you don't finish all your quests, as soon as you get into this world, sorry, I'm listening to the dialogue too. If you don't do all the missions, you can still go to sleep and it'll still put you in this particular section here. I don't know my parents.
Don't go! Please, don't leave me again.
Oh,
I don't want to be alone anymore.
I'm sorry, Rose. I'm sorry.
Please, you've got a perfect life here. You'll ruin everything.
I can't. I'm sorry, Rose.
No!
The implication is I might have actually been able to meet my parents if I would have stayed. That's the implication.
Castle Fairfax looks so nice in the snow. If only we could live there.
Perhaps that could be arranged.
For centuries, this academy trained the most supremely gifted sons and daughters of Albion, bound together by the blood that flowed in their veins. Can you feel the power coursing through you?
I'm so young.
Father, I could have stopped him.
Oh, I recognize all of this.
That was something else. Best crucible in years.
They're changing my weapons too. It's so cool.
Classic performance that will be remembered for all time. Or
So
at least
young.
as long as there are people around to remember it.
Everyone has their breaking point, and I will find yours.
The rules cannot be broken. We will take whoever bears the dark seal.
And looking as youthful and spirited as ever. Aren't you a tricky one? Good for you.
God, I love this fucking
The
game.
last time I killed you, it tore my heart out. Of course, you're only a child. But then, so was I.
Dude, I am so old.
You have passed the test. Your rewards are the opportunity to confront your enemy and the means to destroy him.
Yeah,
Take the box and go to him.
definitely. Dude, this game is fucking hype. It's nothing but hype. You guys have truly missed out. Those who haven't played Fable 2, you guys have truly missed out on a great experience. Oh, God, I love this game so much. Again, like I said, do not let... Well, I don't let, at least. People tell me that Fable has always had, like, cheesy writing. It's always been written... Fable 2, at least, has been written so well. It knows exactly what it needs to do. Damn. And again, they always said the Lucian just sits behind the white light only. Dude. Let me go ahead and save it here. Because there's something I do want to show. There's something that does happen in here. I would like to show you guys. Oh, that's right, dude. I'm fucking back. That's right.
Your power is astounding. Twice you've cheated death. Yet your abilities are trivial compared to the infinite power of the Spire, which will soon be mine. Now, sleep.
Nah, buddy.
What is that?
Yo. Hold it down.
What are you doing? Do you think a mere trinket will save you? Do you think anything can? Stop. Think about what you're doing.
Oh, you want me to stop now?
I will put an end to chaos.
Yeah.
Stop now, you
Sure.
fool! You insect! I order you to stop! Sleep!
Oh, yeah.
I command you to sleep! Sleep! Do you consider that a victory? You're merely delaying the inevitable. All that you've struggled for will be crushed under the majesty of the Spire. Why? Why must you interfere? What are you fighting to protect? The world that robs us of what we love most? Is that what you think is worth preserving? You small-minded fool. Do you think you're the only one ever to suffer loss? I asked the world for nothing but a family, and even that trivial request was too excessive. Such a cold world does not deserve its own existence. The new kingdom will have no place for fate or chaos, or hero.
Oh, I thought it'd never shut up.
And I'm going to pause it here, and we're going to go back and do what I want to do. We're going to do what I want to do and how I would have done it. But at one point, Reaver does show up. For those who would want to hear him talk, he is then shot by Reaver.
Sleep! I command you to sleep! Sleep! Do you consider that a victory?
For my wife and kids.
Oh, I thought it'd never shut up.
Lucian's dead. So, what happens now?
Now,
Hey,
it
Mom.
is time you gained your reward. Your gift for saving the world from a madman's selfish dream. The spire has awakened, and it still has the power to grant one wish. Yours. Come. Take my hand.
Of course.
It's all right, little sparrow. Don't be afraid.
All right. Let's take her hand. Man, I've been through so much. I've been through so much. So much time. So
You
much.
stand in the heart of the spire, as the Archon of the Old Kingdom did thousands of years ago.
Huh.
Now it is your turn. Make a wish, but choose wisely, for it will affect all of Albion.
Of course.
Sacrifice. You may choose to revive all those who died in the spire's making. But in doing so, know that you will never see your family again. Love. Those dearest to you, your family, even your faithful dog, will be restored to life. But their lives come at the cost of the countless innocents who died in building the spire.
Oh, dude.
Or wealth. More gold than you can imagine, to spend on whatever pleases you. But any you loved, and all the spire's prisoners will remain dead, and will not witness your newfound affluence. What will you choose?
Well, in anyone in my situation, I'm sure would choose the most heart-filled option. But for me personally, this is just me personally, I'm no hero. Personality-wise. And in most cases, again, like I said, a lot of people's wives and kids were well, a lot of people's wives and husbands were killed in the spire, you know, and that's the right thing to do, is making sure everyone else has their family. Unfortunately, though, I love Debbie and my two kids too much, and I don't, and about as easy as it is for me to get remarried again, me and Debbie, I have imprinted. And there's a special bond there between me and her that I can't sacrifice my family for everyone else's. I care about Debbie a little too much, man. I want to. There's the thing. I do want to do this. This is the right thing to do, you know. But I mean, you have to realize once we do that, Debbie isn't going to exist the way that NPCs work in this game. They're not recyclable. And Debbie has been there since the very beginning. You guys have been watching this series this entire time. Debbie has been there. And even though she doesn't work, even though she's not functioning properly in the game because she's glitching out, she has still been there every step of the way. We've been through way too much in our marriage, from the dude, from the dates to the gypsy camp, to the you guys have seen it, from the dates to the gypsy camp, to the me asking her to marry me, to her being my fiance, to her finding out about I think her name was Lucille or whatever hell her name was, and then calling off the marriage and the wedding, to me trying my best to prove to her that I was a good man, that I am a good man, and I'm not going to be going off and gallivanting with women and things like that, which I wasn't. It's just the fact that that's technically what happened during that particular mission, is that's what I was supposed to do. To actually marrying her and having two beautiful kids, just I can't. I want her back. And about as much as I know everyone else has lost their family, selfishly, I want Debbie back and my two kids.
So be it.
It's okay if everyone else doesn't understand. I'm doing this for her. She's done so much for me. And so has my kids. But I'm sure you guys already knew which one I was going to pick. Y'all let me know if y'all which one y'all thought I was going to pick. Oh, wow.
A warm welcome awaits you at home. And any who might declare you selfish or callous, any who themselves lost family to this place, will know that given such a choice, they might well have done the same.
Right.
We heard everything.
Yes, a wish was made, and the world will bear its consequences.
I'd do almost anything to bring back someone I loved.
Oh, I think I might be ill.
But you could have brought back thousands. All the victims of this horrible place, they had families too.
I know.
It was his decision. Let him live with it.
It's just not the choice I thought you would make.
Oh.
Yes, but on to more important matters. What about me? What do I get? Cash would be nice.
That is up to you. I can send you anywhere from here. What do you wish?
I wish to return home, to Samarkand.
Oh, I've never been to Samarkand. Hot nights, exotic substances, and uninhibited people.
It's nothing like that.
Trust me, I'll find the exciting bits.
Fine, but stay out of my way. Hammer?
No, I'm done. I know why we got attacked in the cave the day we met. You brought those hollow men in with you. 2 monks would have found nothing. But a warrior finds battle, always. I want to go north. Study with those warrior monks. I was so sick of avoiding violence. Now I'm sick of causing it.
Goodbye, hero. I simply can't thank you enough for dragging me into this mess. Oh, I should tell you, I do have to make the occasional sojourn back to Albion. I have an obligation to some friends in Wraithmarsh.
Of course.
I had my doubts about you at first, but I'm glad we met, and we shall meet again. You can count on it.
So, think you can handle Albion on your own? I need to get away from here for a while. Do some thinking for a change. It's not like I'm leaving much behind. Well, maybe one thing. About the greatest friend I ever had. But it's time to say goodbye. Take care of yourself.
Farewell, Hammer.
Teresa actually told Hammer goodbye, and that's nice.
And now it is time for you to leave. The world is yours to enjoy. But the spire is mine. Be gone.
Oh, dude. All right. I would start to applaud, which I'm going to do. This was a fantastic game. We still have we still have infinitely more things to do, but without that being added in, and again, I do like giving a small review during the credit scroll. I have to be 100% honest. From start to finish, this game has been still one of my favorite games of all time. Granted, you have to realize we ran into some bugs and glitches that mess with our wife and our children that made them not work properly, but the experience of actually spending time with them, you know, I don't get that experience in any other game. So even with the bugs and glitches in this game, this has been an extremely fun experience from the beginning to end. You couldn't name me a game that is anywhere near the levels of Fable 2 in terms of its content and what it allows you to do. For me, since I do review games differently than everyone else, and I do play them for different reasons, I do believe that there is so much content in this game based around my kind of play style. I'm a romantic, and I do like being able to romance characters. I like the idea of sitting in a village or in a city or town and doing mundane jobs and being a part of the world. A lot of games allow you to be the hero of the story. You are the Dragonborn, or you are the chosen one, or you are the, you know, you are the savior, and within doing so you get to exist among normal people, but you don't get to live among normal people. And so that's some short ass credits. Holy shit, that was short. Okay, we got more credits. Okay, thank God. And so you're able to live among people, but you're not actually be able to live with them. And so what Fable does, it makes you a normal citizen. You can go to shops, you can work normal blacksmithing jobs, pay bills, family upkeep, find a wife or a husband, and even get into a gay marriage or a lesbian marriage. You can cross dress. Again, there's so many things you can do. You can go to the bar, get drunk, again, have the bar play you music. And then socializing with so many different people that have different personalities, and your expressions that you use to communicate with people, different people are going to react depending on what it is. So some person could be more serious and doesn't like the sock puppets or the farting jokes that you would do with your character and hate you for it. Whereas some people will find that extremely funny. And there are even characters in the game that finds that attractive. You know what I mean? From the burping and farting perspective, they're called raunchy Randy characters. They're mostly in Bloodstone. But it just goes to show that the game does react. You do missions, and whatever choices you make on the missions, people in the villages will talk about your deeds, you know, and they will either, you know, compliment or criticize what you've chosen to do in that from that perspective. And just the amount of quests that do have those kind of choices that are reflective in the villages that you do go to, in the cities and the towns that you do go to, and the fact that people will see you differently, the way that your fame it increases. People want to get your autograph. You see children wanting to, you know, get your autograph. You become a household name. Like, name me a game that allows you to do all of that stuff while also being a person that can work a job or bartend or woodcut, farm, things like that, buy goods and sell goods in a different location, because there is trading in this game. There are times where shops have sales and there's times where shops have shortages. And so what you can do is you can go to a place that's having, you know, an influx of items, buy that, and then take it to a place that has a shortage and get even more money back. You can trade in this game as well. I've never interacted with the system because I always thought it was a little bit better just a blacksmith. But that is something you can do. You can buy in bulk and sell somewhere else. There is so many inner working mechanics with this game. Again, like I said, even with like the sexual parts of the game, you know, you can have protected or unprotected sex, either premarital or marital, in a marriage or out of a marriage. And if you have sex out of a marriage with a promiscuous woman or man, there is a high chance that if you go to your stat page, you're going to have STDs. But if you have protected sex, unmarital, or, you know, in a marriage or out of a marriage, you don't contract any diseases. And if you're married, you won't have any children if you don't want any more, because children, the more children you have, the higher the upkeep for your house is going to be. So if you can't afford to upkeep your house, it's best you don't have, you know, children. So there are so many normal person things in this game. But the irony of me loving this game so much from the perspective of you're being a human person, like you are a human, you get to walk around and do humanistic things. The irony of it is this game is based around you being a hero. And so what this game has shown me is the fact that you can be a hero and still do the fun things and the fun mundane things of just, you know, working a normal job and buying a house and raising a family and redecorating your home and moving to different locations and asking your husband or wife, your spouse, what they would want, and hearing them give you feedback on their living conditions, and you being able to, you know, accommodate that, all while having a great combat system centered around experience points, RPG elements, and things like that we're all familiar with. And it's just, with the writing of the story, from you being a kid and helping out in old Bowerstone, Old Town, to you becoming an adult, leaving the gypsy camp, becoming that hero after going into the Heroes Guild and going out and finding all the heroes of each category, while also weaving your way through and trying to get your revenge on Lucy for what he did to your sister. And then if you've had a family, what he did to your fucking dog. I mean, I turned into pretty much John Wick at the very end, only I had a fucking wife and kids, you know what I mean? So this man's going down, like, but they were able to weave such a nice, serious, well-written story with great voice acting. People don't understand, voice acting is really, really important, and not one time in this game was I ever pulled out with how bad the voice acting actually was. The voice work for every single one of these characters is top notch. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. This has some of the best voice acting ever. not one time was like, oh, that person was in a studio voice act. No, everything worked perfectly. I think Pixar said it best. If you are looking at grass and wondering and realizing how good the grass looks, you know what I mean, then I don't think they've done their part. I think that was what it was. Either that was wet hair. But it's like, if you're looking at the grass and seeing how good it looks, that means that animators didn't do their job, because that means it stands out. The whole point about getting into a different world is making sure that you never leave it. You want the entire experience to be wow. You know what I mean? Again, not the fact that I've been transported, but you say that after it's done, because you've been transported into that world. And for me, oh, cool, there's the voice actors. For me, the entire time I'm in the world of Fable. I never for once thought that, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool voice line. No, I was in it. I was in this world, and you know, and you don't want things being too overly voice acted. You know, you don't want people putting too much work into it, because again, it sounds good, and so for that you're getting pulled out. You know, so character motivations and writing and voice acting work for everything. It's just been top notch, and I can't, you know, think of a game off the top of my head that has encapsulated an open world sim, I guess, in a way, you know what I mean, or city sim, because again, you have to also account for the fact that I can be a complete douchebag and start destroying things and destroying the economy, because when you kill owners of houses, property value goes down. And so that means, you know, if I ever want to buy a house and never really had enough for it, I can kill the owner, and then there's going to be a death of ownership, reduction in price. Like, there's so many inner workings with Fable, with this game, that I've yet to explore, that people don't really know about. This game is completely legendary and a one of a kind. You can find other games that are like some of the bigger games that you know. I don't want to start naming games because it sounds like I'm going to be, you know, racking on them, and I don't want to say that. But if you look up what games are like Fable, I promise you, you're not gonna find, believe me, as someone who's been looking games up that are like Fable, there are no games like Fable at all. Yeah, there are games that have combat, but there aren't games that give you the amount of freedom that Fable does in terms of its world sim aspects and its characters and its voice acting, and the way you're able to raise a family and have a family and work a job and do the missions and have those choices that directly affect the way the world looks. And so honestly, playing through this again, even with all of the bugs and glitches and everything, I always give 3 scores, because I feel those are really important, you know what I mean, to try my best to get into the mindset of everyone. It also helps me not get mad at myself, or get mad in general for people not liking things as much as I do. So I'm gonna have to give 3 scores for me personally, 1 for the audience, 1 for me, and then I forgot the third one. What's the third one? I usually give out 3 scores. Me, audience, oh, and then fans. Oops, don't know how I forgot. So for me, I'm gonna have to, for a general audience score, I'm gonna have to give it like a 7, maybe even a 6. I say 6.5. A lot of people, since the game isn't overly cinematic and doesn't hold your hand in some certain aspects, the game doesn't tell you all the time what it has to offer, and so a lot of people are going to miss out on some of the more special things that make this game special. The dialogue, the wife, and the children's system, and how they react to you, and the houses and things like that, and the economy. The game doesn't really put anything in your face, and so with a general audience coming in and playing the game that knows nothing about Fable or the Fable series, it's just gonna be a run-of-the-mill RPG. Yeah, you can get married, that's cool. Yeah, you can, you know, work a job, yeah, that's cool. And you can, you know, buy property, and that's cool. And you can be a douchebag and raise in lower prices and stuff like that. Yeah, you can bartend, that's fine. But the game doesn't really put into your face how important those systems are and how in-depth those systems are. So a lot of people who just come in with general knowledge, who just want to play a game, aren't gonna understand the game from it being special from that perspective. People have to sometimes be told a lot of things. That's why a lot of AAA games and their tutorials and the way that they're structured are so in your face and slow, and just so they can explain the way every part of the game works. For me, that's fine, but I know Fable doesn't really do a lot of explaining. You have to kind of more or less figure those things out on your own and find out what makes the game special. And a lot of people need to be told. So unfortunately for me, I'm about to give the game like a 6.5. Is for a lot of people, it's going to be forgettable, and not a lot of people are going to really latch on to it. For me, from a fan perspective, you know what I mean? I think the game is going to get like from a fan perspective of someone who's played Fable 1, I think the game is going to get a 7. I believe it's going to have some aspects of the game that people are going to like, but I know there's a lot of Fable 1 that's been stripped out that people aren't really that happy about. I've already heard the stories, and believe me, I've played a little bit of Fable 1 myself, and it's nothing like Fable 2. I don't think the game is bad, but it's not really my cup of tea. So I know fans are going to be a lot more disappointed. Hell, I would even drop it down to a 6 below the general score of 6.5 because the games are so drastically different and focus on so many different things that I feel like the fans are going to be a little disappointed with how the series and the direction the series had went in. And then, of course, for me, I'm gonna have to give the game a direct 10 out of 10. There's nothing this game does wrong. It does everything right, even with the bugs and glitches in the game that I've experienced. This has by far been the most incredible experience of my entire life. Even playing it over again, you know, about what, 10 years later, 12, 13 years later, it is still the best game I've ever played. And I really hope you guys take the time out of your lives to give this game a chance and to really sit down and take your time with it, because that's what the kind of game this is. And so for me, that is possibly the most important thing about the game, is just the fact that it's nothing like you're ever going to play. And so I'm never going to change that score, and I'm never going to change my opinion on this game. And as I've said before, the new Fable game has big shoes to fill, because if it's going to try its best to go for the Fable 1 audience, I don't know if I'm going to like it that much. But if it's going to go for the Fable 2 audience or the Fable franchise as a whole, I believe that it's going to be a much more fantastic game to play. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this particular video. We're not done yet. We still have so many more things to do. But with this being said, I think it's an appropriate time for me to give a review of my current thoughts over the game, just in that general sense. And I'm gonna see also that I'm going to post another video after this one, because we only played like 10 minutes, so you guys are gonna get around about 3 videos in one day. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this entire playthrough of Fable 2 from beginning to credits. And again, general score 6.5, Fable fan score 6. And then my personal score, I'm giving it a damn near 10 out of 10. Perfect score game. Even with its flaws, everything in this game is just extremely good. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, depending on what side of the world you guys are on. And if you did enjoy the video, you already know what to do.